Can you dig it? Coach.
What's going on, everyone? It's Sunday night. I can dig it. Thanks for everyone tuning into the channel. Thanks for welcome back. Doing a little Sunday night live here, just kind of recapping the week. Jamming out in the air guitars, V-dubs. I'm Carl. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. All right, so let's get right to it. Right, we'll try to recap all of what was that? What were you playing?
It was night driving, man.
There we go.
Would you like some of that to soothe your
soul? That'd be great.
Right.
Oh God, I'm gonna fall asleep.
There we go, man.
All right, so let's get to it. So while we're doing this live here on Sunday night, the MLB draft is going on right now.
It is.
It looks like number 23 is on the clock. The Sox are going to pick soon, but Cubs got to pick earlier.
They did. They got Cade Norton. Actually, I should shut off the night driving first. Nobody wants to hear night driving when we're talking about Cade Norton.
Yeah, Cade Norton out of Oklahoma.
All right. So Cade Norton, he's only played 1 year at Oklahoma. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he had Tommy John surgery, and this is some good footage of him in the World Series.
He's a redshirt freshman who is draft eligible.
I'm going to mute this.
This year, 5-2 with a 5.24.
Now look at that, 5.2, 5.24 ERA. But his last month, he was 2.66 ERA in his last 4 starts.
Uh-huh.
And here's some good footage of he's got a nasty slider, a slider that's 90 miles per hour. That's pretty impressive.
His strikeouts to walk numbers look good.
Yeah, do you have those?
It was on the screen there. 51 strikeouts, 15 walks.
I did not see that, man.
Right,
he's got
your video.
I totally missed it. Watch his fastball here. He's got some giddy up, man. 97 mile per hour fastball.
Yeah, good location too.
Yeah, so he looks pretty powerful. He's young. He's had Tommy John surgery, like I said. He was supposed to go the 10th overall pick, and the Cubs picked him at number 7. So I don't know what you think about that.
Well, I was trying to read whatever I could on him, and from what the scouting reports were, like he was the number 1 pitcher in the draft, like the best available pitcher.
Yeah, so like that, there goes that thing where Theo would go for all the bats.
Yeah,
I think there's some kind of opinion based on, do you grab the bats, or do you go out for pitching in the draft, or do you pick up pitching through free agency? Do you have like an opinion on that, Coach?
I think it's better to look, pitchers in free agency are expensive, period. Right? You can pick up pieces here and there from position players. I think through free agency, you can do a pretty good job of picking up pieces there. But if you're going to try to develop a pitching staff, you almost have to do it through the farm system, because any of the quality pitchers that are going to be available out there are going to be pricey.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And as Ricketts has shown, he's not willing to spend that money per se. Right. Until you're close. Right. Until like maybe he feels like, okay, we're 1 pitcher away or a bat away, and then maybe he'll spend some money. I don't know.
I don't know. Ricketts just had the Cubs just had that lawsuit against them too.
Oh yeah,
for not making Wrigley Field ADA compliant. But I don't think that bothers the Ricketts. I mean, the Cubs are still selling out Wrigley Field right now, and they're like bottom 3 in payroll or something.
Yeah,
bottom 3, something like that. And then they have the highest. If you look at their beer, their sales tickets, parking, all combined, they are one of the most expensive places to go see a game.
Does that surprise you?
A little bit. Let me get this off the screen. I think a little bit. Yeah. With the product that they're putting on the field, yes, it does surprise me. They should be putting out a product that's better. They should be more competitive.
But look, the stands are full. Right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So like people that are going to the game are obviously paying those prices, right? And they're not necessarily. I mean, I'm sure they're complaining when they're at the park, but yet they still pack the park.
I'm going to see the Pittsburgh Pirates next Monday with the kids and wife.
And how much are you planning on spending?
According to the average, it's like 300 something per family for a trip.
Okay, but you don't just have a hot dog, bag of chips, and one drink.
That's true.
Or maybe even a popcorn. You have way more than that.
I like lots of Cokes.
And yeah, with Captain. Probably, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep an eye on the Sox to see they're not on the clock yet. So
the Sox have the 26th pick. Yeah, where are we at right now?
Yeah, we're 24 is on the clock right now.
Okay, and the Cubs also have the 46th pick. So I'm kind of excited that the Cubs got some pitching. They don't have a ton of pitching in the farm system, so I think that was a wise move.
All right, let me ask you this question about this. I thought about this today, literally, as I'm watching this. Right?
Yeah.
Baseball's the only one that has their draft in season.
Yeah, it's not exciting, man. Well, I mean, to a certain extent it is. But how many rounds do they have in baseball?
I don't know. Let me look this up. They have 20 rounds.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But look, a lot of these players get drafted, right? And some of them, it's kind of like hockey, right? They have their option if they want to go to the team or not, but the team keeps their rights for the player, because you see a lot of high school kids, a lot of college kids being drafted that haven't even finished. Like there's talk about your guy. Was it Cade Horton? There was talk before he got drafted that he was going to run it back one more year at Oklahoma. That he might go back, but with the signing bonus potentially that he might get, now they're thinking that he may not come back.
Yeah, I just posted a fan question. So if somebody watches this later on, they can
comment,
interact on the comment. Yeah. What about the Sox? Anything new about the Sox? The Sox look good right now.
Well, look, you and I were texting a little bit yesterday. Sox fans were a little bit upset we didn't get the sweep, but 3 out of 4 is better than a split or being swept altogether, right?
Oh my God, Sox fans are mean, man. The stuff that they say about their team and their players, dude. Yeah.
Look, the biggest number. What's up, man? Storm? Yeah, I don't know much about the draft either, to be honest, Storm. I don't know much about it at all whatsoever. So we were just commenting about the Cubs and the Sox draft picks that were coming up today. So look, the biggest number there is the loss column. We're only 2 behind in the loss column. And we have 2 games. We played 2 less games than Minnesota. Yeah. So, and I think we're only like, I don't know, 3 games out of the wild card, I think also.
Yeah, I'll pop that up real quick.
Yeah, what is that number? I can't remember what that number was.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 still. I mean, we have a lot of teams we still have to climb. Did you know they changed the format for the wild card playoffs this year?
No, I did not know that. What did they do?
So 4 teams make the wild card.
Okay.
I don't know how this works. There's 4 teams that make the wild card, and then they each play each other for a 3-game series, but it's only at one park. So like, if you're one of the last 2 teams that got in, so like if you pull that up, they pull up that wild card again.
Yeah.
So like,
I will. You want to give an example?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
So for example, Toronto would host Baltimore. Actually, no, I take that back. If you move that up a little bit. So it's something like the last 4 teams make it in to the wild card.
Okay, so you'd have Toronto, Boston, Cleveland, Baltimore.
Yeah, I read that somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I read somewhere that 4 teams make the wild card this year.
Huh. I don't know. No, it's right now. It's Tampa, Seattle.
Where did I see? I gotta go look at that again.
It's Tampa, Seattle, Toronto, Boston. It was 4.
But while I'm looking at that,
look at Seattle, 14 in a row, man.
Yeah, no team's ever won 14 in a row into the break. Look, the Sox are in good shape. The only thing that sucks now is that now that we kind of got our groove, now we hit the All-Star break.
So, but back to that. Look at they're 7-3 in their last 10, right?
Yep.
Their hitting has been improving all year, but now they're getting timely hits. They're hitting some home runs out of the ballpark, driving some runs in. I think people were really down on Lance Lynn's start the other day, but they didn't score very much that game either.
Steve Stone brought up a good point.
Plus.
Lance Lynn didn't have a spring training. He was hurt. So this is where he would be about a month into the season. So he's still trying to figure it out. The good thing is that we're not using his arm as much as we have in the past. So that's okay. The guy that I'm really the two guys I'm really kind of anxious about are Kopech. He's walking way too many guys early on, and Giolito. Lucas Giolito's pitched better lately, but he seems to run into that one inning. It's like the fourth or fifth inning where like he may give up a hit or two or a couple hits. And then next thing I know, there's like 3 runs on the board. That's the only thing I worry about, those two guys. If we can get the bullpen is starting to settle down, hitting's coming around. If we got Cleveland for a 4-game series right when we get back from the All-Star break. We can't afford a split there. We got to take at least 3 out of 4 in that series. If we split or we lose that series with only 60-something games to go in the regular season, it's going to be tough. Despite the number of games we have left with Minnesota, you got to catch Cleveland first, and they're the team right ahead of us. So you can't afford a split. You got to get at least 3 out of that series.
Yeah, they're only 1 game behind Cleveland, man. Even if you get, I differ a little bit on that. Yeah, it would be great, but if the Sox still keep on winning series,
that's what I'm saying. Like you can't afford a split
even
here.
But even if they don't win this one against Cleveland, I think they can. The way they've been playing, the way they look, it feels like a different field. They look like they're hustling even better. Honestly, their defense. I've seen some really good defensive.
They played great defense today.
Zuvala, I saw getting crushed against the fence. I saw another guy diving for the ball. I forget who the heck it was, honestly.
Yeah, Eaton was in the game. Eaton was in the game today. AJ was out. They put Leori Garcia out and left. They had even Gavin Sheets in right field. He's not a normal right fielder. He was great today.
So what did you think about this? Liam Hendricks adding to the All-Star.
It should have been Cease. It should definitely should. Nothing to take away from Liam, right? I know they added 2 pitchers today, but if you were going to add 1 pitcher from the White Sox, it should have been Cease. Cease has been on there all year. Liam just came off of the IL. He was hurt for a while. And again, Liam's great and he's deserving, and I'm not going to argue that, right? But if you had my choice out of those guys, it should have been Cease with the numbers he's putting up.
Hendricks is putting up really good numbers too, but
I can't remember.
I couldn't disagree with you. I feel like what is Cease 8-4 or 9-4? I think Cease is 8-4 after today's game.
Yeah,
his ERA is like is lower than Hendricks, 2 point maybe 1.
His ERA is 2.15, and he leads the American League in strikeouts.
I know. How could you? I don't know how he can't be in the All-Star game, but
he's pitched 9 innings less than Garrett Cole, and he has 3 more strikeouts than him. He's pitched 6 more innings than McClanahan, and he's got 3 more strikeouts. So in less innings, he's got more strikeouts than those guys. Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure how that works, but. So all right, let's talk about Bulls.
Let's talk about Bulls, man. So the Bulls technically had the best record in the NBA Summer League.
Weren't there some teams that were undefeated?
Oh no! I'm sorry, in their specific Summer League division.
Oh yeah.
Not in the other one.
Right.
But they were 4-1. The Knicks. Wait, 4-1? I think they were 4-1.
They ended up 4-1.
Yeah, actually, they had the best record in that division, but they didn't win the championship because they're doing the championship based on overall point differential.
Well, they played the Knicks, and the Knicks made it to the champion. The Knicks beat them head to head.
Correct. Well, the Knicks killed them. They smoked them.
Yeah, and the Knicks lost today to Portland.
I did
Portland
not know
won the
that.
Summer League. Portland technically won the Summer League. But.
So I was reading something from Casey Johnson about some of the big takeaways from the Summer League team, and obviously, who do you think would be the biggest one to talk about?
They're going to talk about Dalen Terry.
Yeah, I mean, he did injure his hamstring. I don't know if we found out exactly how bad it is.
I don't think it's that bad,
which is good. But he had a really solid game that last game.
Yeah.
He looks, besides that first game where you were right. You want to hear that again?
Yeah.
You want to hear that again?
It's okay. I got it on video.
You were right. That first game was just a lot of nerves for the Bulls. They looked terrible. Terry looked terrible. But those next 3 games, he made slow progress each game.
Yeah.
He sees the floor really well.
Yeah.
She's a strong finisher, which we could use on the Bulls. We don't have someone that really takes the ball to the bucket enough. They try and rely on a lot of outside shooting.
Yeah.
So that was one, and then Marco would be the other one. So what did you see from Marco during the Summer League?
I watched the game. I watched almost all of them. I watched the one yesterday against Philadelphia, and that one, especially in the second quarter, it seemed like Marco was trying to be aggressive, but he kept getting blocked. He missed layups, right? I don't know if it was just because they played so many games in so many days or whatever the case was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or because Dalen Terry got hurt. I'm not exactly sure, but it just seemed like his best game was the first one.
It was,
and
that's exactly what I just posted up here from Casey Johnson. So you should be You should be a Bulls beat reporter, man.
I know my basketball. I've been telling you that for years. But you refuse to listen. You refuse to believe me.
I believe you on some of it, man.
The rest of the time you're calling BS on me the rest of the time. But look, I think Marco's best game was his first one. I think that as the season, the Summer League games went on, I don't know. It felt like he was almost lost. Like he wasn't quite sure. Should he take over? Should he not take over? I don't know if someone said something to him after the first game. I don't know if they told him look, we know what you can do. You don't have to worry about, doing this. We want to see you do this, or we want to see you do this. Maybe it got him out of his game. I'm not exactly sure, but
Casey Johnson hit the nail on the head, though. He's talked about really the one guy he played against that is probably a big man in the NBA that would be competitive was Jericho Sims on the Knicks, and Simonovic just looked terrible. But then you and I talked about that game.
That's a little deceiving. That one's a little deceiving because while he was 0 for 5, he took 2. That counts for 2 threes also that he took that were just terrible.
They were,
and the reason he took those shots is because the shot clock went down and he had to fire up the shot.
And he wasn't getting the ball at all. They weren't feeding him at all. I just don't feel like that was a game for a big guy.
Correct.
It just didn't seem that way.
No.
All right. So other than that, they talked about John Bryant being the Bulls' assistant coach.
Uh-huh.
And then they talked about who to pick up for the two-way contract. Because I thought Malcolm Hill was already signed for the second two-way contract.
That's what I thought.
Well, at least according to Casey, it's perhaps only the developmental intrigue of big man Maker can keep Malcolm Hill from snagging the Bulls' second two-way contract.
Okay. Well, we know Justin Lewis has one of them.
Yes.
Right.
So he's got the first two-way deal. What about Freeman Liberty? I thought he was signed too.
He was signed to a summer league deal.
Okay.
But that other name there on the bottom, Carlik Jones, he played well.
He did. Look at that, man. In the last game, 15.9 assists, 5 steals. He really does look like a very astute, older guard. He doesn't look like a younger guard, man. He reminds me of Greg Anthony on the Knicks.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah, look, he's one of those guys. Like, look, he played G League last year. Looks like he learned a lot because the first game, like we said, everybody was kind of rocky a little bit in the first game. But
Rocky Road.
The rest of the games, the last 4 games, he played great.
You don't know Goonies, huh? Rocky Road. Are you just ignoring me? You're learning how to ignore me.
No, I've been doing that I've been doing that for years. I've had plenty of practice.
That's true. I could have done Eye of the Tiger if you named Rocky
I've had
too. So.
plenty of practice, but
so
look, so it'll be interesting to see who they take for that second 2-way deal. I thought for sure it was Malcolm Hill.
I thought it was too, man. He did hit 10. I didn't realize this because I was joking around. That dude shoots. He likes to shoot, and he doesn't have. He's not worried about missing a shot. That's for sure. But he was 10 of 20. He was 10 of 20 from 3-point shooting over the summer league schedule.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a little surprising.
I thought it was too, man.
I must have just seen all of his misses.
That's what I thought too. But so they were 4-1, so they must have played better than some of the times we saw them.
What'd you think overall? Like overall of the what you saw from at summer league? We've talked about that, but
besides that Knicks game, I thought I saw some really good competitiveness out there. I didn't see like outstanding play. I mean, the players that we just mentioned are the players that I thought looked good. Other than I don't know what Freeman Liberty did that last game, but I guess I'm biased on him since he comes from DePaul. I kind of like his game.
Okay. I look, I would love to see him. I don't know. We signed him to a free agent deal. What's up, Jeffrey? What's going on? We didn't sign, we signed him to the deal there and he was undrafted. So I can't imagine anyone signing him to a G League contract. So I'm hoping if nothing else, he sticks around with the Windy City Bulls at least.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I'm confident about Marco still. To me, he's a big iffy. A big iffy. Like Jiffy peanut butter.
Well,
who doesn't like
again,
peanut butter?
Again, it's going to be kind of spot minutes, and it's going to be kind of depending on. He literally may be the guy at the end of the bench. He may not even dress.
Are you a Jiffy or a Skip guy? I think I
really. You're going to ask me that question?
Yeah. Carl's allergic to peanuts, so
I am. So I would have no way to answer that question.
So if you're ever angry at something Carl says, send him
throw a Butterfinger at me.
I will give you his address. The Cubs drafted Jabrani with an ERA of 4.
So Jeffrey, you joined a little bit late. We were talking about that. Apparently, from all the scouting reports, he was the best pitcher available in the draft.
He actually had a 2.66. Are we talking about the same
Cade
guy?
Horton?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
I think you are too, man. He actually, his last 4 starts or 2 months, I think he had a 2.66 ERA, and his strikeout to walk ratio is pretty darn good. He had Tommy John surgery. He's young. He was supposed to go 10th. We got him at 7.
Huh.
Yeah. So
with the 26th pick, the White Sox picked Noah Schultz out of Oswego East High School in Illinois.
Hey, Illinois is in the house.
High school senior.
All right, so you look up stuff about Noah Schultz. Okay. Talk me down off the ledge. Hey, Jeffrey, we had a question about this because Theo had a system of drafting all hitters in the draft, and he would pick up free agent pitching during the off season. I don't know if you like that, but the Cubs do need some pitching. Hey, Jimmy G.
What's going on?
I was going to scoot over to the Bears a little bit.
Okay. We're going to circle back. By the way, if you guys have something we want to talk about, just chime in. We'll kind of jump from top to topic, but
I don't really care what.
We'll kind of go from spot to spot, but let's go ahead and talk a little Bears. It's like 52 days to training camp.
at 52.
For opening day. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you talking
Yeah,
about,
opening
man?
day.
You're gonna freak everybody else out. Everybody else is like, football's coming soon. All right, here we go. This is what I wanted to show. So rookies report, training camp rookie report date. I don't know if that's big enough for. So we got just this week. This week's an exciting week for football fans, buddy.
Tomorrow, Bills and Raiders report.
Bills and Raiders, man.
Yeah.
But the Bears are next Saturday with the Bengals.
I think the Bills and Raiders
Colts.
report because I think they're playing the Hall of Fame game.
Gotcha. All right, so we're excited about that. I've read a lot on a couple of the competitions that are going to happen during training camp. So one of them is the running back role. So if we thought about the running backs, who do you guys think out there are our main guys that are pegged to stay in there? You like the strategy with Theo? Yeah. So who are our main guys that are almost like solid? They're in. Don't have to worry.
Oh, are you asking me?
I'm asking anybody, dude.
I think Montgomery and Herbert are locks.
They are. I agree. So they're locks, but then right after that, then you've got to decide. Okay, so you've got a fullback in Kari Blasingame,
which he's going to make the team because we haven't had fullbacks on the team for I don't know how many years.
That is correct.
Right.
So Blasingame is a great blocker and he's got some speed. But then you've got a rookie, Tristan Ebner. And then we picked up a free agent, Darrington Evans. Actually, why don't I share this? I'm looking at, what's a great resource is Bleacher Nation for all the great information. They're doing position battles. I think this is the one I'm reading. So you got, I don't know if you can see this, but Tristan Ebner, he's 5'11", 206, free agent Darrington Evans. We picked him up. So they're thinking with Blasingame, you got Herbert and you've got Montgomery, that those are going to be the main people that make it as running backs, fullbacks. And then on the bubble, then you've got Demontre Tuggle. That would be a bubble guy. So I'm not sure. Also, too, with the signing of Harry, if that impacts any of these guys, because maybe they're going to see that they have somebody who can block, have a different blocking scheme.
So here's a thought, and I'm going to throw this out to everyone, right? Since Harry is a really good blocker, what about him playing in that like Cordero Patterson type role, right?
You mean Cordell?
Cordero Patterson. Like when he was with the Bears, he played both wide receiver and out of the backfield also. Like, what do you think about him lining up in the backfield from time to time?
He just didn't. Patterson has more speed than Harry, I think.
Right, but you'd be lining him back in the backfield also as a blocker too, wouldn't you?
Well, as a blocker, but I don't know if they're going to be really scared about. I mean, I think they'll have a good read on the offense if you're putting him out there, versus like a guy like Patterson who could maybe block and run. This guy, I don't know how good this guy is a runner. Doesn't seem like it. He can't separate. I mean, isn't that one of the main criticisms of him? Love Matsui. What about Miro Haj? Remember Miro Haj?
Yeah, we were the last team he played for before he had all the concussions.
Yeah. What about the ultra back?
H-back, ultra back. Was that what he played? Ultra back?
No, he wasn't that, but we called that other guy an ultra back. God, what was his name? God, I love that guy. Different guy, not Miro Haj.
Well, look, I think we're going to probably be more run heavy, obviously. But that's kind of Chicago's MO, right? You kind of use the run to establish the pass.
Absolutely.
And that's also to kind of, you don't want to put Justin Fields back there if at all possible. You don't want to put him back there 35 times a game, if at all possible.
You got
Right?
it. And then I think the biggest no, absolutely you don't. But
Jeffrey's got a good question.
they're trying really hard to buff up their wide receiver game.
Jeffrey, I don't think they're necessarily going to simplify the offense for Justin Fields. First of all, his first year's like you can throw that out because he didn't learn anything under Nagy last year, right? So you can kind of throw that out, right? I mean, look,
all right.
they had to rework his whole. They redid his footwork.
Yes, he did learn that. He learned that because he needed to do that.
But that supposedly, if Nagy's a quarterback guy, Nagy should have taught him that last year.
Or maybe they were working on it, man.
That's
one thing we don't know about his techniques. We know that the plays they called for him were down outright rotten and horrible play calling on like third down, and not throwing the ball deep at times when we know he's got a good arm and he's one of the best downfield passers,
right.
even for a rookie.
I do think you'll see a lot of option plays. I do think you'll see a lot of RPOs, a lot of rollouts. But I think when you say simplify, I think they're going to try to, at least the first maybe couple games, they're going to run plays that Justin's comfortable with. Like they're going to try, they'll probably have some plays where they throw deep, obviously, right off of play action. But I think they'll probably try to get plays where he's most comfortable with, where he knows what he's reading when he rolls out, right? Quarterbacks got their first read, second read, third read, but sometimes they just lock in on that one receiver. But I think they're going to make sure that the plays that Justin runs, he's comfortable doing those reads more than anything else.
I agree, and I'm hoping they're going to use his talents a little bit better. I mean, it sounds like even though they didn't pick up the best receivers, they've made a lot of conscious decisions to try and buffer up that offensive line with some additional players that can block, whether it's the receivers, the fullbacks. It's yet to see how that offensive line is going to pan out.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be slightly better.
Yeah, well, look, I think what I'm more interested in, Jeffrey, is I want to see if they're throwing more passes in that like 10 to 25 yard distance. Like I don't want to keep seeing passes like from the line of scrimmage to 10 yards.
Oh, amen. Hallelujah.
They're picking up 5-10 yards, right? I want to make sure they're throwing at least past 10 yards, right? Maybe not the deep threats, but
praise be Lord.
If they roll, oh Lord, if they throw 15 yards, like a 15-yard in, a 15-yard out, 20-yard out, something like that.
Speak your truths.
Right? I think that's what I'm hoping for. Sounds like Vic's hoping for the same thing.
Hallelujah. Oh, I am so sick of it. This is like a Bears tradition for how many years? John Shoup. I'm trying to think of some of the other. Mark Trestman. Who's the one guy that came back for 2 offensive coordinating jobs? God, Greg Landry?
Greg Landry. Shula was the offensive coordinator.
Oh, my God. Mind blown. Yeah. Wouldn't it be great to have an offense just like a Packers team, man?
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we're not in a whole lot of 3rd and 15s this year, hopefully, right? But I think they'll be creative, right?
Yeah. Talk about a little bit about the wide receivers a little bit before we end this night. Okay, so Darnell Mooney is definitely a lock, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going through Byron Pringle. He's a lock.
Okay, not to name drop or anything, right?
Yeah, name drop, buddy.
Okay, so like I work out at Bears Fit in Vernon Hills.
Oh, you are.
And Bears players are there all the time. And the other night when I was working out, sure enough, David Montgomery and and Darnell Mooney. As I'm looking at their pictures up on the wall, I'm seeing the 2 of them work out. And they've been doing a lot lately.
Were you drooling though?
Well, here's the thing: it's like when you don't see them in pads, you see them in workout clothes. They don't
look as big.
They don't look as big, right? Especially Mooney. Mooney is a lot smaller than I thought, right? And now that I see the kind of the hits that he takes, I'm shocked that he actually gets up from some of those hits. But I will tell you, like those guys, like you can see, like they're committed to getting stronger and to working out. Like you can just see their work ethic. Look, they don't have to be there working out, right? They could easily just be taking it easy, right?
I love Tommy Boy.
Oh, yes.
I love Tommy
and I actually
Boy.
enjoyed Tommy Boy. That was a good movie. So
Carl likes to think of himself as The Rock. So
I don't think of myself as The Rock.
The only thing similar is his baldness.
I've been called The Rock from time to time, but
all right. So you got Byron Pringle. He's another Bear that's probably going to stay on the team. And then you've got the other free agent pickup, How do you say it?
Equiminius.
I'm going to muffle that all the time.
You're just going to call him St. Brown all year.
St. Brown,
ESB.
buddy.
You'll just call him ESB all year.
So you got him. All right. You got Velus Jones Jr.
I think Velus Jones Jr. is going to be a lot more involved in the offense than most people realize.
All right, but then you also have now N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of players, and among those, you've also what did I miss?
That's correct. Thanks, Jeffrey.
I'm not listening.
Appreciate that.
All right, so also 3 other veterans that we added: Tajay Sharp, Dante Pettis, David Moore was the one that was just arrested, but I don't know. Stuff happens. Yeah, and then you got 2 other guys, Isaiah Coulter and Nizba Webster.
Okay.
So, and they're talking about maybe just having 5 wideouts possibly on the roster.
Yeah, you'll probably have 5 wideouts, 1 or 2 on the practice squad.
So that's I mean, I don't see anybody that's just like wowing me, like where you'd be like, that guy clearly is going to make that top 5, but I think you've got a lot of people that could vie for that job.
Okay, for me, it's Mooney, Harry, Velus Jones, those
Pringle.
3 for sure. Pringle and St. Brown. Those 5 guys are going to be your wide receiving core.
I love Mooney, and I like Komet. I hope Komet. I hope we use tight ends a lot more than we have in the past. Although he got the ball quite a bit last year. He's just not scoring.
I think Justin Fields is watching tape around the league, right? And who is it in Baltimore? Their quarterback, and God, the names are escaping me right now.
Lamar Jackson,
and his tight end, I think it's Edward. I think is the guy's name.
Yeah.
They have a really good connection.
Yeah, absolutely. He was my tight end fantasy football player, man.
When he scrambles, he knows where that guy is.
Yeah.
I don't be surprised if Justin Fields and Cole Kmet start developing that kind of chemistry. You know, like where Cole Kmet knows where to go if he starts to scramble.
Amen, bro. Amen.
You know, I think that's a good way to go. So. All right. So listen, I know a lot of guys joined in late, but thanks for tuning in tonight. Do appreciate you guys being here. Let us know in the comments, like what works better. Like if we start around 8 or 8:30, let us know. We're kind of flexible whenever we do these live streams. We're going to try to do these on possibly Sundays, Wednesdays for sure. We're going to keep doing the wildcard Wednesdays for sure. We're going to keep doing that. So, but thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. We do appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out tonight. If you haven't had a chance yet, hit the like and the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notified on future episodes. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks, Jeffrey. We appreciate you.
Hey, mods.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Peace.
Love.
And digits.